I'm expanding my culinary knowledge and I am going to learn how to make arepas colombianas. Colombia has over 300 kinds of potatoes. It also has hundreds of kinds of arepas. I'm not Colombian, but I've heard. The ones we're gonna make today are arepas rellenas con queso, or arepas filled with mozzarella cheese. To learn how to make arepas rellenas de queso, I've called upon my friend and one of my favorite Colombians, Wilma Vega, who is a master chef, is what I like to call her, in all Colombian food. My children have grown up on her cooking, and so have I. I've grown wider on her cooking. Mima, ¿cómo está?
Bien, gracias. Buenas.
I call her Mima.
Hola.
So
Hello.
we are going to, this is a bilingual cooking class, okay? She'll explain it to me in Spanish, and I'm gonna explain it to you in English. And just so you know, this is the first time she allows me to put manos en la masa, because she usually just does everything herself. You're gonna need 1 pound of cooked white cornmeal, mozzarella cheese, or the cheese that you use for quesadillas, que no le sabemos el nombre, el queso de las quesadillas.
Queso para queso.
Queso para quesadillas. Butter or margarine, water, milk, and we begin. I've also forced her to get measurements of everything. She's never done them with measurements. Okay, abrimos la harina.
Ponemos 1 libra aquí, la mitad
Okay.
del kilo.
¿Y por qué es importante este tipo de harina precocida?
Porque... Ay, bendito, y ahora no me habías preguntado eso.
No se lo pregunto. Okay. All right, so, ¿más?
¿Será que iba a la mitad?
She already started taking it away from me. Okay, I'm gonna put all the measurements and the instructions in the description of the video. Okay, ¿y ahora?
El agua. Ponemos el agua.
Okay, 2 cups of water in here, and then milk. Okay,
Leche, un pocillo de leche.
avíseme. She calls a cup of milk. So just grab a mug this size and pour milk in here. ¿Y esto para qué es, Mima?
Para que le dé suavidad
A la harina, a la masa. This is going to soften
sabor y...
and give taste to the
Esto lo
masa.
ponemos a la estufa.
Okay, so now we're gonna go to the stove. So that's gonna be in medium high, just to heat up the milk and water. ¿La queremos hirviendo?
No necesariamente.
It doesn't have to boil. We want it just hot enough. She's cheating. She just poured a little more masa in there.
Es difícil medir la mitad de un kilo del pastel.
It's killing her that I'm making her measure this. 1/3 of a pound goes into the masa. ¿Sí?
Un poquito más.
Un poquito más.
Con eso.
Kind of 1/3 of a pound.
Ahí
Okay,
está.
so the milk is hot and we're gonna start pouring little by little. De a poquito.
De a poquito, sí, aquí.
Así.
Sí, sí. Vaya echándole, vaya echándole.
Vaya
más.
echándole. Mima has been making arepas before she was double digits,
Le hacíamos
that
con
young.
el maíz cocinado y luego lo molíamos. Todo ese era el proceso. De la
Sí,
arepa.
it wasn't from a package. It was from scratch.
Échale un
Más?
poquito más.
Okay. Okay, so if the batter looks a little too wet, don't worry about it because it dries up as it cools off. All right, we're gonna wear these gloves so that if we're wearing nail polish, it doesn't end up in the masa. No one likes arepas with nail polish. Ay, déjeme hacerlo.
Amasar bien.
So what you're doing is lifting as you knead this. You don't want any on the bowl, right? You want the bowl clean. Quiere el bowl limpio, ¿verdad, Mima?
Sí, más o menos. Pueden ver que la masa está suavecita.
That's the consistency you want.
Su consistencia es suave.
Soft consistency. Okay. Okay, so we can start building the arepas now. You don't have to let it cool off.
Y hago así la...
Okay. You're gonna use a Ziploc bag You're gonna open it up and she's gonna cut it again. This is how the plastic should look. We're gonna put it right here and she's gonna start building her arepas. Usted haga una que yo hago otra. You start, Mima.
Agarramos una porción de masa.
Handful of masa.
Las moldeamos un poquito así.
We flatten them a little like that, like in a little circle.
Aquí.
Uh-huh. Oh, and then you smash it over there. See,
Más delgada.
and you make it thinner right there.
Bien delgada.
All right?
Luego agarramos otra porción.
Oh, okay, so now we're gonna put the cheese in one of these.
Ahora
Ah.
le ponemos el queso.
Okay, so one gets one. We had said 1/4 cup, no, 1/3 cup of mozzarella cheese goes on one of
Y
these.
lo ponemos aquí.
Hágale. Uh-huh. And then we flatten it.
Y colocamos
Oh! Okay, Mima has been making
Lo-
arepas at my house for 13 years. I had never seen this.
Lo aplastamos un poquito así más.
You
En el
smash it?
queso y hacia afuera para que le salga el aire y no quede muy bien.
Okay, we're emptying any air bubbles by flattening it together. She's gonna use this bowl
Y
to then
apretamos.
cut the shape of the arepa, and then we lift it, and we have the arepa. Ay, Mima, that's beautiful. And there's one arepa.
Esta es una arepa.
Esta es una arepa rellena de
Rellena
queso.
No, pues,
Ah, with what's left over.
volvemos a hacer la otra arepa.
Oh, we do the second one. ¿Que la puedo hacer yo? She has no faith. Did you see her face? Can I do it, Mima? Yeah, okay. Ajá.
Ok,
Ahí voy. Ahí voy.
más o menos.
And then flatten it.
Es más fácil con los dedos.
Con los dedos.
Sí, sí.
Así. With the fingers, you're going to flatten it like so. ¿Hago la otra o todavía?
La otra.
Hago la otra. Handful. Así, un chin más, ¿verdad, Mima?
Está bien
Like
así
that?
porque el molde
Okay.
está pequeño, no está tan grande. No necesita que quede tan grande.
Arepeando aquí. Okay, with my fingers. Okay, so the circles don't have to be the same way, but they have to be bigger than this round thing so that it seals together when you're putting the cheese. ¿Puedo poner el queso ya? Ah, míreme, Mima, míreme haciendo arepas. ¿Así? Más bajito. ¿Sí? Aquí,
En esta,
en esta.
para que se le facilite.
So you'll do the bottom so that then you can,
Así como que lo toco un poquito para que
all right? All right, here I go.
no la otra.
Ahí voy, ahí voy, ahí voy, ahí voy, ahí voy. Okay. Entonces aprieto. ¿Qué fue?
No mucho,
No
hacia
mucho.
adentro, así
Okay.
suavecito para que vaya saliendo el aire.
Nice and soft. Don't be aggressive with your arepa. Be gentle. So we're getting all the air bubbles out, okay? And now this, here we go.
Digo para que esté bien.
Okay. Oh my God, Mima, hice una arepa. Look at this. Oh my gosh, look at that. You can't stack them together when they're like this. ¿Qué hacemos?
Conseguimos otra bolsita, puede
Okay.
ser de estas mismas.
We're gonna get another Ziploc and then stack them together that way. So she wraps in a plastic as well. You don't have to split it in half. But that way, while you're working, it doesn't dry. I don't want to brag, but they look like hers. Now we're gonna cook the arepas. So Mima has put them on this tray so that we start cooking them in medium heat. They are just made. They're not frozen. They're at room temperature. So you don't want this pan too hot. Okay, Mima, ahora ¿qué voy a hacer? Agarro una.
Le aplica un poquito de mantequilla.
Así.
Y la pone al sartén.
And then we put it here. Ahí voy. Okay?
Ahí a fuego moderado la dejamos unos minutos. Ella va dorando.
You leave it a few minutes there, and she starts getting golden. And now, after flipping it, you let it cook on the bottom. They're supposed to be golden on both sides. Because remember, there's cheese here, so when you bite into it, you want to pull the cheese apart. So before I learned how to make arepas, Mima would make, her name is Wilma, but we call her Mima at home. That's her nickname. She would make a bunch and leave them in my freezer. And then I could make them whenever I want. But I never knew how to make them. I burned so many arepas. Today, she is going to teach us how to make these. Frozen arepas, how to cook them from frozen. Same process, but the pan should be hotter than if they were fresh. Once you throw it there, do you lower the heat now, Mima? Bajo el fuego.
Sí, un poquito más.
Bajamos un poquito el fuego. We lower it a little bit because we figured out.
Más o menos así. Ella va a demorar un poco más porque está frita.
She's gonna take longer to cook because she's frozen. This is what I used to do. I would leave the heat the same at the same level, and so it would burn but not warm up through, and so I wouldn't have the melted cheese and that kind of thing. So now you know. You're gonna freeze them like this, separated with plastic. Once they're frozen, you can stack them in a bag. What you don't want is for when they start freezing to dry up on you in the freezer, okay? And honestly, I've had them frozen in there for months, and we've made them and gave them to the kids, and no problem. Are you gonna try this arepa rellena con queso? Tell me if you will in the comments, all right? Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you ever had an arepa? What kind of arepa have you had? Leave it in the comments and subscribe. Okay, so we put some butter there just to start bringing back the moisture that the freezer took away.
Siempre toca congeladas, porque si las sacamos para que se descongele, ella se deshace.
So here's a great tip. You're always going to cook them frozen. Don't let them defrost because they're gonna start splitting on you. The tester is back. Amelia, I was telling people you grew up on these.
I did.
This is like your favorite. You would take it for lunch.
This is how I got chubby.
And whenever she smells the arepa, she comes over. Look at this. Let me show you. See the cheese? Okay.
Thank you. That's good.
I made it.
You did it?
What? Mima, mire.
Es bueno.
Y la hice yo. ¿Está orgullosa de su Ana?
Por supuesto que sí, muy ricas.
She's proud. She's proud. It's taken me 13 years, but I figured it out. Arepa colombiana. Try it out.